Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden. And before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this on your Facebook page. It's one of my favorite days. It's a pruning day. So excited. I feel like pruning is so therapeutic. We are going to be working on this portion of the garden. This is my west facing side garden. It gets full on hot heat, sun, starting from about noon on. And this area right here was the original portion of the garden when I started working on the side garden during COVID. This beautiful Ruby Falls Weeping Redbud was the first thing I purchased and planted for this garden. And I transplanted these Double Bridal Wreath Spireas over here, and then I've just built along here. And today we're going to be focusing on pruning the Double Wreath Spireas, pruning the Ruby Falls Weeping Redbud, and pruning these daffodil leaves at the base. We're going to be opening up this whole section for the summer, and you're going to be shocked at the transformation. Now, every year I come in and I cut back these Double Bridal Wreath Spireas, and everybody gets really upset because they say it's not the natural habit of them and such. Been doing it for 5 years right now, and they seem to be doing really good. So I'm going to go ahead and talk you through my process, why I do what I do. Okay, so these Double Bridal Wreath Spireas have been in this location for 5 years. And before that, they were in my front garden for 2 years. So I did buy them when they were very small. I did not put them in this place to be as big as they can potentially go. These can go massive, become massive bushes. And I don't actually have a place in my any of my gardens for a specimen that large. So I do what I do in order to maintain scale, size, and shape to complement the actual size of my garden. Now, every year these Double Bridal Wreath Spireas are beautiful for about 2 weeks. They have beautiful, just popcorn blooms, just brimming and hanging and draping, absolutely beautiful. And then after that, they just look like this. Very nondescript, nothing fancy. And so I've gotten in the habit of pruning them and shaping them each season, and that has worked out beautifully for me. Now, ideally, you're going to prune these after their first flush of blooms. My flush of blooms was back in March, and I just ran out of time. So here we are at the beginning of June. We're going to go ahead and do this because that will still be enough time for these to put on plenty of new growth so that they can bloom next year. So why prune now? They're done blooming, and this is also best to prune just after flowering to encourage a New Year's set of growth. We might be a little bit late. Ideally, this would have been better done at the end of March, beginning of April. Might be a little bit late, so I might have a little less blooms than I typically do, but it'll still be plenty. A few key tips. We want to identify old wood versus new wood when coming in here. And then this one in particular, their Spirea compared to the other one. This one had a lot of old wood removed last year in order to rejuvenate it. And it has come back beautifully this year. So I'm really happy with that. We're going to thin out the older canes. We'll do some light shaping. You can cut out about 1/3 of the oldest canes, and I'll show you what some of those look like. And we want to remove any crossing branches and such. Now, it is not suggested that you shear them back the way that I'm going to be shearing them back. However, I've now done this for a lot of years and it's been fine for mine. However, if you like to follow everything you read on the internet and you prefer not to shear yours back, then don't do it. You don't have to do it this way. So basically what I like to do is I like to come in with, this is an old school Black & Decker electric pruner, which works really well for me. I never sharpen it. Probably should. It belonged to my father-in-law, and so it's several years old. I like to come in and put it right at my belly button and shear across the top first. And that just kind of gives me a general height to start out. All right, and then once I've got that general height up, I like to start from underneath the base, and I like to shape my way up. I like to angle the pruners, and I like to cut in a half moon shape, just like that, and give them a little bit of softer round look. So I'm gonna come in here down to the base. And you will, because like mine are so big at this point, I will have to come in and clear out some of the foliage so that I can continue to see the shape of the shrub. Now I am wanting to be careful because I don't want to cut back the existing plants I have here, which is also why I should have started earlier in the spring after its original flush, because now I'm having to fight some blooms. Okay, that looks good. And I'm not gonna do more than that, just enough. Shape it up, make it a little smaller, and then it will spend the rest of the season putting on new growth. Now I do want to bring you in and show you what some of the older wood looks like versus the newer wood. What a difference, right? And now it reveals this container, which is very cool. So let's look at new wood versus old wood. Old wood is going to have a little bit of a darker look to it. It's going to be a little bit more gnarly. This right here, well, you can just feel. See how that just snapped right there? That's old wood. That's not needed anymore. Here's another one. And these are just snapping out, the older stuff. Just like that. So you can see in here we got an example. This is old wood versus new wood. So we want to pull out that old dead wood. I don't need that anymore in there. And that's just going to help rejuvenate. See that guy right there? It's going to help rejuvenate. So I'm going to put you guys back on the tripod, and I'm going to go grab my loppers, and we'll take out some of this old wood that we don't really need in here. I mean, it's fine structurally, but you do want to clear this out a little bit each year. Don't take out more than about 1/3 of the old wood. I'm going to leave some of it in there to help retain this upright structure and support the shrub as it grows. But you don't want everything to become all wood, or else you're not going to have a good flush of blooms each spring. Break out the big mamas here. Pull out old dead wood like that. That's doing nothing for the shrub. All right, feels good. Open it up a little bit in the middle. Make room for new growth that I see coming up from the base, which is awesome. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so that looks a ton better. We are going to shift over to the Ruby Falls Redbud. And let me flip to my notes. Okay, love, this is my favorite thing in the whole garden. So why prune now? Late spring is perfect for light structural pruning. We're not doing a really hard pruning. The tree has leafed out, and we can see any dead limbs or awkward limbs or anything like that. So it's a way easier to remove. Few key tips: you always want to remove dead wood, and you want to do that on any plant in all honesty. We're going to selectively prune to enhance the weeping form. I prefer a umbrella shape, so I like to see the trunk. So we're going to lift the canopy. So this is the canopy. I'm going to lift up the canopy. That will reveal the trunk below because I like to see it, and it will open up the space of this small garden in front of it, which will allow me to clear out the daffodils and then plant this up in the future for summer planting. We want to avoid really heavy pruning on this, especially during summer. We're at the very beginning of summer. Because it can cause issues. I do have drip irrigation set to the bottom of this tree, which has helped it thrive on this west-facing sun. And so when I'm doing the Ruby Falls Weeping Redbud, I like to work by hand on this. And I like to go up a little bit higher than I want the final product to be, because this will fill in so quickly. And so I'm just doing some one by one going in, and I'm trying not to cut them all at the same level because I don't want it to be a perfect line. Now down here we have a bunch of growth from the base that I need to take out. See all those shoots? Let me get in here. All right, see how that opens that up on the bottom? And it's important to step back and take a look. But that actually looks pretty stinking good. Now I have some revealed limbs here, and they do have leaves at the bottom, so this is not like a dead limb or anything like that, but I think it looks good, and I feel like that's enough. I don't want to go further beyond that. I don't want to trim out really big branches in the middle of it unless they are actually dead all the way from the base of the trunk all the way to the tip of the branch. Okay, next we're going to work on the daffodil foliage, and when's the best time to do it? It's when it's flopped over and turning yellow and brown. That's when you know that it's done feeding the bulb, and you can really just come to the base and cut all the way to the ground. Super simple. I also have muscari in here, so I'll be cutting those all the way to the ground as well. And I do have some random, what do you call it? Violas and pansies in here that I will be removing. Oh my gosh, I love pruning so much. It's just so satisfying. I mean, look how the transformation on this space. Look at that. We are definitely starting to get a lot more humid days. And heat's one thing, adding the humidity, everything feels so heavy. I'm sure dry heat is rough too, but there's just, I don't experience dry heat. I only experience humid heat. And it feels like an oven steaming something. A lot. Well, that's quite the difference. Looks lovely. Cleared out, open. You can see I cut the daffodil muscari foliage down. I had to be careful in this area. I have a lot of bumblebees that were not happy that I was in their business. I'm going to go grab a stake to stake that verbena right there and help it to not lean over. And then I think, even though this is not a good time of year to do it, I've got some coneflowers that were starters. I guess they reseeded themselves. I'm going to try to move them to the front part of this border. So let's do that. Okay, when I'm putting in stakes, these are just very simple stakes. I always want to put the stake in further back than I think I want my plant to be, because they do tend to lean forward. Because these stakes aren't like super strong. All right, and I think that'll help keep these a little bit more upright. Should be better for this portion of the garden altogether. All right, let's look at those coneflowers. Okay, towards the back here, I've got a few coneflowers. I don't know if I can get them out of here. They are buried in the roots of, yeah, they're buried in the roots of the Spirea and the Ruby Falls. Let's see about this bigger one right here. Okay, this one I might be able to get moved towards the front. All right, and I got 3 little baby ones too. Okay, first off, for some reason I've got my drip irrigation was like out of the actual bed. That's not good. Okay, so with these itty bitty ones like this, I want to make sure that they are planted by an emitter so that they are consistently watered. And I'm going to go ahead and just feed that whole area with plant tone. And then I'm going to look for my fork. There it is. And like I said, these little ones, I need to make sure that they're right by an emitter. I do have to be careful in this area as I'm planting. It's hard to plant really big plants in this area because of the bulbs that I have here. All right, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and water these in real well. Okay, I think it looks good. Now this side is doing way better on coneflowers than this side. This has quite a few over there. It just has to fill in. And I am starting more from seed, so it'd be great to fill in more here. I also think I will come at a later point in time and dot in some vinca there as well and freshen up the 2 containers, 1 container there, 1 container there. But I'm happy with how it looks. Happy to finally get those spirea trimmed back. It's looking good. Okay, definitely still have a lot more pruning and such to be done on the west side of the garden. So I'll have more videos coming up on that. In the meantime, very pleased with how that looks and how that cleaned up. Very happy with that. Feeling real good about that. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Anytime it gets pruned, it feels awesome. Definitely have more that needs to be taken care of on this side. It's amazing because I felt like I just did my spring pruning, but truthfully that was 2 months ago. And so here we are, early summer, taking care of the next and really seeing these areas change from season to season. It's extremely exciting for me. I just love it. So looking really good. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on spireas. If you trim yours back or if you just let them run wild. It doesn't work for my space to let them run wild, so I trim them back. And you know I'm a big proponent of do what works for you and your garden. That's all we can do, right? As always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And be sure to check me out in my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. It is all things gardening, all things She's a Mad Gardener. It's people who like to keep up with what I'm doing on a daily basis, there is a free tier to join under, and there are additional paid tiers. The higher up you are in the tiers, the more access you get, including exclusive videos, group chats, photos. I've also been sharing these plant identification cards. Got a couple of more ideas. I'm kind of excited that we're getting to the hotter time of the year where I have to be inside more, so I can spend a little bit more time focused on my Patreon. So excited about that. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.